Look at this screen. A 35% tip. Now, most people just see greed, but I see evidence. $16.75 million worth of evidence. That guilt you feel when the cashier flips that iPad? Yeah, it isn't an accident. It is a behavioral funnel designed to turn your social anxiety into their corporate revenue.
Get this. A major platform just settled for millions because they allegedly used your generosity to offset their own labor costs. Seriously, your tip didn't help the worker. It helped the bottom line.
Today, we are revealing the algorithm picking your pocket, and I'm going to show you the one move to protect your money without hurting the people serving you. Let's look at the math. Look, we've been told a simple story. Your tip goes to the worker. But in the US, the law allows a tipped minimum wage as low as $2.13 an hour. Seriously, that 20% you just tapped, it's not a bonus. It's a subsidy. You're not rewarding service. You're quietly filling the gap the owner refused to pay.
Here's the kicker. This isn't just a theory. Look at the $16.75 million settlement paid by DoorDash. The charge? They were allegedly using customer tips to reach a guaranteed pay threshold.
Look at the math. The company promises a worker $10. If you don't tip, the company pays the full $10. But if you tip $4, the company uses your money to cover their promise and only pays $6. The worker still gets $10, but the company just saved 40% on labor, thanks to you. Let's be clear, that tip isn't generosity. It's payroll, outsourced to you. The company gets the credit for high pay while you get the bill.
Once you understand this trick, the explosion of tip screens everywhere makes sense. It's a behavioral funnel designed to turn your social anxiety into their revenue. And now, they've digitized it.
Look, up to this point, it still sounds like tipping is about people. It's not. It's about software. Modern tip screens don't ask, they engineer. Even in a self-checkout kiosk with no human service, it prompts for 35%. This is a behavioral funnel designed to exploit that discomfort you feel while others are watching.
Here is the mechanism. Digital screens use dark patterns. Designers make the no-tip option smaller, move it to the corner, or hide it behind extra clicks. Meanwhile, those large, glowing buttons push you toward the highest percentages. It's not an accident. It's an optimization of your social anxiety into their corporate revenue.
And here's what they never tell you. When you tip digitally, a portion is often clawed back by providers as processing fees. The machine doesn't need a raise, but the payment processor loves the extra cash flow. This is algorithmic guilt, optimized to make saying no feel wrong, while making the profit invisible. So what was the actual result of that $16.75 million settlement? Follow the paper trail. $6 million went to over 35,000 workers. But the city took its cut, $5.6 million in penalties. The remaining $5.1 million? That was swallowed by litigation costs and attorney fees. DoorDash settled without admitting any wrongdoing. They were forced to stop stealing tips to pay wages, but the lawyers and the city walked away with nearly double what the actual victims received. You think you're helping a human. The algorithm knows you're just balancing their books. At this point, someone's already pushing back. They're thinking, okay, but that's just how business works, right?
Tips are necessary. They motivate better service. Systems cost money. Without tipping, prices explode. Workers suffer.
It sounds reasonable. That's the problem. Because if tips were really about helping workers, they wouldn't keep appearing in lawsuits. They wouldn't keep ending in quiet settlements. And companies wouldn't keep getting caught, using customer generosity to reduce their own costs. That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern. When tips replace wages instead of adding to them, the incentive breaks. Service doesn't improve. Margins do. And the people paying for it aren't executives. They aren't platforms. It's workers and customers like you. So no, this isn't just business. It's a system that only works if you don't look too closely.
And now that you've seen how it actually works, the question isn't whether it's fair. The question is, what are you going to do about it?
Alright, now you know the game. So here's the question that actually matters. What are you going to do next? Because from this point on, every tip screen is a decision. Not about generosity, about consent.
Here's your survival KIT. For moves, no overthinking. First, if there's no real human service, hit an O tip. Every single time. You're not being rude, you're opting out.
Second, when there is real service, tip cash directly. No apps, no delays, no processing. Get this, when you hand over paper money, the worker gets it all, right then. Third, check your receipts and bank statements once a week. If tips are missing, shaved, or delayed, report it, quietly. Trust me, it works. And fourth, spend your money where the rules are fair. Restaurants that pay full wages don't need guilt to survive. Remember this, the tip screen isn't asking for kindness, it's testing whether you'll comply.
You don't have to fight the system, just stop feeding it. If this changed how you see tipping, subscribe and comment on my end if this week you're choosing differently.